You are now listening to The Box Out with Kahlil Thomas and Jason Kahlil on the One Podcast Network. Let's get it.
From NJ to BK in the world is The Box Out here on the One Podcast Network. My name is Kahlil Thomas, and joining me in a few minutes will be Jason Kahlil from Brooklyn, New York. Thank you for watching, whether it be live right now, whether it be the replay later on. We appreciate you. Thank you. Like, subscribe, hit the button, let us know you're watching. Love us, please. Anywho, we're back, and listen, when we do shows sometimes, NBA season hasn't started yet. It's a little dead. Right? Obviously, WNBA feeds us during these summer months into the early fall months. But to say that news has happened in WNBA besides the amazing playoffs going on right now would be a complete and total understatement. Napheesa Collier, perennial MVP of the WNBA every season, co-creator of the unrivaled 3-on-3 basketball league with Breanna Stewart. Her season ended. The Lynx season ended. She missed game 4 with an ankle injury, which ended up being like a fracture, and she got really messed up in that series. Cheryl Reeves, her coach, was suspended for a game for criticizing the refs, and this has been a thing in the league for the last couple of years. And it's not an isolated thing for this season. It's been going on for a couple seasons. So Napheesa Collier, I will say this. She came out. They had the exit interview with the media, the Minnesota Lynx, and she let loose. I'm going to play most of what she said. It's about 3 minutes and 35 seconds. I was going to cut it up and talk in between certain parts and kind of like do that thing, but I think what she said was so important that I'm going to play the whole 3 minutes. I'm going to drink a hard seltzer and enjoy the ether-like statement from Napheesa Collier.
And I want to be clear, this conversation is not about winning or losing. It's about something much bigger. The real threat to our league isn't money, it isn't ratings, or even missed calls, or even physical play. It's the lack of accountability from the league office. Since I've been in the league, you've heard the constant concerns about officiating, and it has now reached levels of inconsistency that plague our sport and undermine the integrity in which it operates. Whether the league cares about the health of the players is one thing, but to also not care about the product we put on the floor is truly self-sabotage. Year after year, the only thing that remains consistent is a lack of accountability from our leaders. The league has a buzzword that they've rolled out as talking points for the CBA as to why they can't pay the players what we're worth. That word is sustainability. But what's truly unsustainable is keeping a good product on the floor while allowing officials to lose control of games. Fans see it every night. Coaches, both winning and losing, point it out every night in pregame and postgame media. Yet leadership just issues fines and looks the other way. They ignore the issues that everyone inside the game is begging to be fixed. That is negligence. At Unrivaled this past February, I sat across from Cathy and asked how she planned to address the officiating issues in our league. Her response was, well, only the losers complain about the refs. I also asked how she planned to fix the fact that players like Caitlin, Angel, and Paige, who are clearly driving massive revenue for the league, are making so little for their first 4 years. Her response was, Caitlin should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court, because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything. And in that same conversation, she told me players should be on their knees thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal that I got them. That's a mentality driving our league from the top. We go to battle every day to protect a shield that doesn't value us. The league believes it succeeds despite its players, not because of them. I have the privilege of watching my husband run a league where he has to balance 100 different things at once. I won't pretend the job is easy, but even with all of that on his plate, he always takes the time to reach out to players when he sees an injury, whether it's Unrivaled or even during the WNBA season. That is what leadership looks like. It's the human element. It's basic integrity, and it's the bare minimum any leader should embody. This year alone, I've gotten calls, texts, and well wishes from so many players across the league. Those moments remind me that sometimes there are things bigger than the results of this game we play. But do you know who I haven't heard from? Cathy. Not one call, not one text. Instead, the only outreach has come from her number 2 telling my agent that she doesn't believe physical play is contributing to injuries. That is infuriating, and it's the perfect example of the tone-deaf, dismissive approach that our leaders always seem to take. I've finally grown tired. For too long, I have tried to have these conversations in private, but it's clear there is no intention of accepting there's a problem. The league has made it clear it isn't about innovation, it isn't about collaboration, it's about control and power. I've earned this platform and I've paid the price to get here, and now I have a responsibility to speak on behalf of the fans and everyone in this league that deserves better. Our leadership's answer to being held accountable is to suppress everyone's voices by handing out fines. I'm not concerned about a fine. I'm concerned about the future of our sport. At some point, everyone deserves to hear the truth from someone who I hope has earned the benefit of the doubt to fight for what is right and fair for our athletes and our fans. We have the best players in the world. We have the best fans in the world.
So, after that, listen, this show, since we started 8 years ago, I think, we've been pro WNBA. Jason has covered the Liberty for years, going back to when he played in the god-awful Westchester County Civic Center. So we understand where they're coming from, right? Watching those games, those Liberty games in the Westchester County Civic Center, that's when James Dolan and the Knicks owned them, and how little care that he gave that team. They're playing in the Garden. It was back in the heyday, back in the first few years of the Liberty of the WNBA, they were selling out the Garden. They were in the middle of the huge rivalry with the Houston Comets. They were unable to beat the Comets in the finals a couple times, but there was buzz. And Dolan just kind of got sick of having a Liberty as a tenant and even has a team in his portfolio. So he shipped them off to Westchester until the Nets owner purchased them. And now they're in Barclays, they're thriving. He's investing money into the team, into the locker room, into facilities for the Liberty now. But it took an owner who gave a shit about not just the New York Liberty, but the WNBA as a league. You're seeing a lot of that now with these owners. There's a lot of owners in the league who are like with it and who get it. But I feel like it's not so much the ownership, it's the league office that seems to be the problem. I welcome in Jason Corner. Jay, what's going on, bro?
Not much. How's everything?
Good. So I just played the Napheesa Collier Ether single. It was awesome. Before I get into what Engelbert said and what Sophie Cunningham said today at the Indiana Fever exit interview, what were your thoughts on Napheesa Collier's statement?
When I first heard it, I was like, they're so going on strike. They're gonna force the commissioner to resign. And that was the first thing I thought. I thought she has to resign when all this is settled. But I feel like the CBA talks are gonna be they're not playing around. They are not playing around. And just to hear other players around the league, especially, I completely forgot we still got a WNBA finals. Like this kind of superseded that. So, and even with that, the players are still supporting her. So I feel like we're in for a very long CBA battle. It's going to be very long. I definitely see a strike in the near future as well.
So, and Napheesa said all the right things. I think it's not just about the money; it's about the care. Elena Deladon, who just recently retired from the league, came out and said she's not sure if Cathy Engelbert even knows she retired because she never reached out to her to say, "Hey, thanks for what you did for the league. Congratulations on retirement." She didn't reach out. When Collier started Unrivaled, when she got hurt a couple times this year, no one reached out. It seems as the common theme seems to be that the commissioner of the league does not care about the players in the league, and that's a bad look. When the players are like, "Listen, we know you don't give a shit about us, and we're gonna start talking our business now."
Is it she doesn't give a shit about the players, or she's tone deaf, or it could be both?
I think she's tone deaf. I think she thinks she's doing the right thing. Hey, what's up, Pop? The women are ready to make a move, and I love it. We all do too. It's about time.
Oh, they standing on business.
Listen, they're not playing, and I feel like
no.
you have this players union that's been waiting for this moment, right? They've been waiting for the league to be in this position. Oh, not the league themselves to be in this position where we have some leverage. Like the league is popular. Like we're selling out arenas. We're making money. We have a $2 billion media rights deal that starts next year. Where's our cut now? It's time. We've hit that point of time, and it seems like the league itself doesn't want to say you're right. Here's the books. Let's open them up. This is what we got. This is what you can get. What do you think? There's no good faith negotiation coming from their side, and now the players are starting to kind of rebel.
You gotta love it, but I feel horrible for the commissioner because I believe all that stuff she said behind closed doors. I believe that 100%. I think she probably looked at the cash cows of coming in the league, and she's like, well, they better be thankful because they wouldn't have a platform without it. I believe that 1,000%.
So I want to read Cathy Engelbert's statement, WNBA commissioner. I have the utmost respect for Napheesa Collier and for all the players in the WNBA. Together, we have worked tirelessly to transform this league. My focus remains on ensuring a bright future for the players in the WNBA, including collaborating on how we continue to elevate the game. I'm disheartened by how Napheesa characterized our conversations and league leadership. But even when our perspectives differ, my commitment to the players and to this work will never waver. The statement was good until that last part. And I think she pretty much kind of put her foot in her mouth with that last. I'm disheartened. Like when you're talking, me personally, like you got to look at it. I'm, my day job, I'm in a union. And I'm talking to people who are, I'm not gonna say my enemy, but people who are not, who I'm facing. Nothing they say is off the record,
right? And
whatever you say, I'm probably gonna use it against you later on because that's how negotiations go. That's how shit pop off in union business. So Engelbert should have known better, but also this brings up a good point. Will she even be here for these negotiations? Because it seems like she can't be in the room when these negotiations really start ramping up.
I think the bargaining chip is they're gonna cut bait. I think the league's gonna cut bait with her, and that's gonna show them good faith. Like, hey, we're come to the table. We're getting rid of the commissioner. Let's all try to resolve this before the next season.
So Sophie Cunningham, the Indiana Fever, had their exit interview today. Obviously, Caitlin Clark was included in Collier's statement. She made some statements saying she agrees with what Collier said, and trust is a big thing, and character is a big thing for her. Kind of, it was a good state. It was a good thing she said, but the highlight was Sophie Cunningham, who started the press conference saying, "I'm going to be good today," and that lasted all of 2 minutes. Here's 1 minute and 40 seconds of her not being good and her just going the fuck off.
I am, because I'm just tired of our league. They need to step up and be better. Our leadership from top to bottom needs to be held accountable. I think that there are a lot of people in the position of powers in the WNBA who they might be really great business people, but they don't know shit about basketball, and that's got to change. I said I was going to be good, and I just messed up. But I do. I think everyone's frustrated when NBA players from that side of things are reaching out to us, just like in awe of how terrible it is. Like, that's saying something. That is absolutely saying something when your counterpart is feeling bad for us because of how we're getting treated. I mean, come on. And that's from leadership. That's from, I'll just leave it there. From our leadership, it's just bad. When fans and players, especially players, when we're competing at the highest level and it's like a battlefield out there, when we're agreeing on the court because of how awful the officials are, like that's saying something. Like, listen to us. We're not going to come for your heads, but I think there is room for improvement to change the criteria when the whole league is asking for it. But when the leadership isn't doing anything about it, why? And so I think there's just frustration. The game's not fun to watch because everyone's just trying to kill each other because that's how you're going to survive, or otherwise you get injured. I don't know. It just sucks. Our game is changing, and yeah, we want it to be physical, but at the same time, like, you still want to watch good basketball, and when they can't get that under control, it's not fun.
So that was Sophie Cunningham of the Indiana Fever. She said the quiet part out loud. You have business people running a league who don't know nothing about basketball. I think she said no, doesn't know shit, but they don't know anything. So you have someone who worked for Deloitte for 30 years who's coming in to work in a basketball league just to run the business side of it, because obviously the owners are like, hey, we need someone to run the business side because we want to start seeing some money out of this deal.
Right.
And this is what you have. Now you have labor unrest, and you have a league that will probably go. I think it's gonna be a lockout, not a strike. I think it's more lockout.
More lockout.
You're gonna have a lockout at a point where the popularity of the league is at its highest. That's a scary concept for this league. And think about lockouts and strikes in other sports. NHL, Major League Baseball had a couple. The NBA had a lockout. NFL had a strike.
Yep.
It took a minute, especially for Major League Baseball, to come back. How bad could a work stoppage be for the WNBA?
It'll be catastrophic. And you got to remember, back then when those things happened, it was before the social media, before the lucrative television deals. You do that now, and especially you have an alternate league in terms of the rival. So that's where I think they got to come together. I think cooler heads will try to prevail. And my question to you is, if the NBA is in partnership with them, why don't they have their deputy commissioner kind of step in and mediate a little bit here?
You mean Mark Tatum, who just announces the second round of the NBA draft?
What else does he do? What else does he do?
Oh, wait. He actually announces the NBA draft lottery. That's what he does too.
Okay.
He does that.
So he works 2 days in June. That's it.
Mark Tatum's job is just like, with the 7th pick, New Orleans. And that's it. That's what he does all year. That's his job. I'm not sure about getting the NBA more involved in this. I feel like the idea is to kind of cut that tether to the NBA at some point. Right? Sure. They've been big brothers since they started. They want to be like, hey, we're good. Go away. We got this now. So I think bringing them in on this might be a bad thing, because all we're going to hear is how much money the NBA has put into the league and blah, 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 blah. I think what needs to happen, and I can't remember who said it today. It might have been Carolyn Peck on ESPN. Yeah. What the WNBA needs to do with the players is say, here's our books. Here's where the money is. Here's where it's going. Because the idea is that you have no money. The WNBA is struggling, and we're still building, and we're not out of the hole yet. We're getting there, but we're not there yet. Here's the time where you go, here's what we're saying. We don't have it. Or we do have it, but XYZ. They're being very secretive with it, and I think that's the issue right now. The issue is the players are like, where's the money? Because we're about to make some bank. The league, I don't know if the owners, more so the league, are saying, hey, we don't really got it like that. So that's the butting of the heads right now. So I don't see how this ends in the next 29 days, because the CBA expires on the 31st.
I don't see how it's going to end. And again, I feel like all of this is trumping what could be a good WNBA finals.
Hi, Ninja Page. What's up? Yeah, I think if anything, this puts more eyes on it, because the fans will be like, we're going to support this more to show support for the players. So I think in a weird roundabout way, how this is kind of taking that air out of finals, I think you're going to see a really big viewership boost, because the fans will be like, oh, we're going to show our support now to make the point that we want this here next year.
I can see that.
Bruce last night, his show,
Hey, the women. That's right.
The biggest critic of this. I said it before his show last night. I'm like, you were pretty much like, I get it. You don't deserve it. Blah blah blah. Bruce has changed his tune. Bruce is like, I agree. After what Napheesa said, I agree with them now, and they should get paid. So if Napheesa Collier converted Bruce, there's hope for everyone else. There's hope. There's hope. So let's keep it going. We'll stay posted on this. Obviously, every week we hear something. We're going to be here, bring you the news. Hopefully, we get to the 31st and they go, hey, we got a deal. And it won't be a shutdown like it is in the U.S. government right now. Shout out to our government workers who are on furlough right now.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Anywho, we do have NBA WNBA finals coming up starting on Saturday night. Phoenix versus the Aces. I did not see Phoenix in this situation at all.
At all.
I will say this: WNBA.com has a preview of it. They have Phoenix winning the series in 7.
No way.
Like,
No way. No
wow.
way.
Satu Sabali.
I do think it's gonna be a long series, but no way.
I think my issue with this series is we saw the worst of the aces this year in that opening month and a half, 2 months.
Month and a half, yeah.
The Fever had no business pushing them as far as they did to a game 5.
Without Caitlin.
So in my head, I'm like, you know what? Maybe this is a thing because maybe Vegas is not as good as maybe everyone thought they was after they won, 28 games in a row. So I think that's what gives Phoenix some pause. Like, we could probably win this series because they didn't have their star player, and they beat that ass for 5 games until Aces pulled it out. So Satu Sabali, Alyssa Thomas, who, God bless her, got her way out of where she was, came over here to the finals. Kalia Copper, they're like, listen, we can take them down. So I think you look at that last series and go, is Vegas that bulletproof? I don't think so.
I don't think they're bulletproof, but I just think Asia is going to rise to the occasion.
Okay.
I hope the series is spread out in terms of good, like we could watch it, because I did not like how the playoffs are going up against NFL at all the last couple of weeks.
Here's my question. You said Asia's going to step up. Who else is going to step up?
Damn.
Because Asia willed them to that game 5 win the other night. That was her game. But, is Chelsea going to be there? Is Jackie Young going to be there? All right. They need other players. I think this is where Kelsey Plum comes into play here. I think not having Kelsey Plum is kind of hurting this team. And I know it didn't look that way as the regular season ended. But I think having that explosive guard is hurting them. Chelsea Gray and Jackie Young are not that explosive guard that can go out there and drop 20 points in a clip and, will you to a win. You don't have that right now. I think that's the problem with the Aces.
I can see that. And then we see with the Mercury, they're battle tested. They spanked the Liberty the last 2 games. And the way they kind of brought it to the Lynx, I mean, that entire series, it was something to watch.
And I'm serious. And I think this matched up really well with the inside games. And Sabali versus Asia is going to be a matchup. I'm looking forward to that one. The guard play is going to be very interesting too. But who do you got here?
You got to give Phoenix the advantage of the guard play.
Who do you get the edge to here?
I'm going Aces. I'm going Aces. Championship pedigree. They're back in the finals. I think it goes 6. I give them in 6.
So Aces in 6.
Yeah. I mean, Phoenix did take out the champs, and they took out who we all thought were the champs going into the season. So
regular season matchups, the Aces, I think they won the season series 4-2. Obviously, doesn't mean anything now. Right. I know they won 16 games in a row to kind of cap the season off. They kind of built up from where they were. I know early in the season we were just shitting on them every week on the show. I think Phoenix getting to this point, beating the Liberty, taking down Minnesota in a kind of a Fugazi series. I'm put it out there. Yeah. They kind of won a Fugazi series. I like Phoenix, and I think WNBA.com's got it right. I think Phoenix in 7 is the winner. I think this goes to full 7. First time WNBA Finals goes best of 7. I think this goes to full 7, and the Phoenix Mercury pulls it out.
All right, we'll see. I got Aces in 6. You have Phoenix in 7. All right.
Bruce, Mercury going to be physical. Aces don't have physical players. Besides Asia Wilson, who's not overly physical. Like, she can go down low.
I think she'll turn it up. I think she'll turn it up in the series. Because she's going to have to.
She don't have to. Alyssa Thomas and Sabali. Like, Sabali's going to make her get physical. I think that's going to be the thing. Asia is Michael Jordan. If she sees she has to take over, she will. But this will be a good series. And Alyssa Thomas got game. I don't know if I don't think she's Michael Jordan. I don't know.
I'll give her Akeem.
Honestly, I can see Hakeem. I can see because Hakeem took those 2 championships Houston won. Olajuwon took those over. Those are his games. I know Sam Cassell.
Yep.
Sam Cassell gets a lot of love for those 2 finals game series, but that was a Hakeem thing. So, series starts on Friday, not Saturday. I misread that. So it starts Friday night. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes. And like I said, competing against the NFL kind of sucks this weekend.
Kind of sucks. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But it is what it is. So we had NBA playoff preseason tonight.
Abu Dhabi. Yeah,
Yes,
earlier in afternoon.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's my NFL's doing.
Shout out Josh Hart, who sprains his back and gets a technical. I've never seen that before in life.
So the NFL's doing this, and I'm just trying to figure out the rationale behind it as I take a sip of my hard seltzer because I think I need it for this point. Why are all those sports leagues trying to go international? Like, is Abu Dhabi a hotbed of basketball? Did I miss something completely with this?
It's not a hotbed of basketball. It's just they got the money. They got the money. I mean, we see this in UFC. We see this now in WWE. We've seen this with the Grand Prix and every other sport. Golf, like they have the, you know what I mean? Like they have the money, and we like money. We're a very capitalist society.
I get it, but like it's preseason basketball, so I'm not watching anyway because I don't give a shit. But just to see Abu Dhabi on midcourt, I'm like, what are we doing? Or just see the NFL in Dublin, and then Germany later on in the season. England, I think they've established England's the 31st franchise in NFL. They've been there enough. And then they go into Brazil, and I'm like, wait, okay. Like, we're going to put an NBA team in Mexico City. I'm like, why? They're not asking for that. No one in Mexico's like, we really want an NBA team down here.
I'm like, oh, hey, they're going to be like, hey, Toronto has one. Why we can't have one?
Yeah, but Toronto's a sports city. And, I can see the same thing. I can see any NHL in North Carolina. That doesn't make any sense either. So I could, yeah, I guess. It still makes no sense to me. Anyway, I didn't watch the game. I don't give a shit about preseason basketball.
I saw like quick highlights on Twitter. That was it.
But once again, the real news happened at Media Day. Kawhi Leonard. The scandal's still going on. Paulo Torre had another podcast about it. I haven't seen it yet. I got to watch it. I still have my circumvention research in front of me. In case you didn't know what circumvention was, and salary circumvention, for a team to enter into an agreement or understanding with any sponsor or business partner or third party under which such sponsor, business partner, or third party pays or agrees to pay compensation for basketball services, even if such compensation is ostensibly designated as being for non-basketball services to a player under contract to the team. Okay, that's where we are. So we still have the investigation. NBA's looking into it. Clippers Media Day was yesterday. Mm-hmm. Kawhi came to this podium, and you were kind of like, okay, Kawhi's going to defend himself and going to push back and going to have some paperwork and be prepared for Ramona Shelburne of ESPN because she's going to ask the question about the scandal. I have part of Media Day, and I'm going to play that right now. It's about a minute, 32 seconds. And what you assumed would happen when Kawhi Leonard hit the mic did not happen when Kawhi Leonard hit the mic. Here's the clip from Media Day yesterday.
What is your understanding of the endorsement deal that you had with the company that's being talked about, Aspiration, and did you perform any services for them?
When you say understanding, what do you mean?
Like of the contract you signed and how much money you were to receive, what you were supposed to perform for those services?
I understand that full contract and the services that I had to do. Like I said, I don't deal with the conspiracies or the clickbait analysts or journalism that's going on. So that's what it is.
Well, I think the allegation was that you didn't perform any services for them. Is that accurate, or did you do things for them?
I don't think it's accurate, but it's old. This is all new to you guys. The company went bankrupt a while ago, so we already knew this was going to happen. So,
you were named as like the largest creditor in the bankruptcy filing, right? Did you actually get the money that was owed to you in the contract, or?
No. But the company went belly up. It was frauded, as everybody knows. If you want any more questions or more details about that company, you can either ask the owner or whoever else is involved in the fraud that went on.
Right. I think they said they owed you $7 million or something, right?
I'm not sure. I gotta look back at the books, but no, it's more than that for sure.
Do you have any idea of how much you actually made on that?
No, it was like 2, 3, 4 years.
That dude is lying his ass off. Like, first of all, where do I start? What did you understand about the contract you signed about the services that you're supposed to render? What do you mean? The question was clear as day. You read the contract. It has been proven that the things that you were supposed to do to get paid on said contract, you didn't do. I don't understand what you mean by that question.
It happened so long ago. I couldn't remember. I don't
2
play.
years ago.
I don't. A lot has happened in 2 years. He hasn't played basketball in 2 years, so he probably don't remember what he was doing. And on top of that, I love how he did the whole Dave Chappelle Black. Was it Black Bush? That's good.
Yeah, Black Bush. Yeah.
I like how he definitely played off of that. I mean, hey, listen, if you want to ask questions, ask the owner. I know nothing about this. I just know they owe me money. But I'm not tripping.
If you have any questions for Ramona's question, if you have any questions, blah blah blah. And in Ramona, I knew she was there because obviously she's LA based. She was going to ask this question. And the lack of preparation and the lack of explanation to anything that was asked was insane because you knew it was coming. So you're telling me you didn't talk to your lawyer, you didn't talk to Uncle Dennis, you didn't talk to Uncle Steve Ballmer. They didn't say, "Hey man, listen, bring those books, look through those books, be ready for the question." It seemed like he's been ignoring it and just assumed that no one will ask this question at a media day, which is the first time anyone's going to talk to him about what's been going on for the last month.
Nah, I think he had the impression like, it's media day. I'll just take some pictures. They'll give me layup questions. They won't ask me nothing too crazy. I just won't, he clearly wasn't prepared, but I did like how he didn't say anything, but he also implicated himself in so many things.
I would have said no comment and just went.
I'm just here so I don't get fined. He should have won Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I don't get fined. No comment. No comment.
It's like, in I'll respond to clickbait. Mike, it's not clickbait when Pablo Torre has like 5 shows about this topic. Clickbait is one, and some Bruce Pritchard like rumor innuendo, but we're beyond the rumor innuendo part now. We're to the part of
that.
This is legit. This is a real story that someone's going to get in trouble for this, and we don't know who. It may not be Kawhi, it may not be Ballmer, but Lawrence Frank, the president of the Clippers,
it's smelling like
shaking.
Lawrence Frank.
He is shaking right now because someone's got to take the fall, and it's going to be the former Nets coach.
It's looking that way. It ain't going to be Ty. Ty got nothing to do with this.
No, it's not Ty.
It's not going to be Chris Paul. He just got back here. He don't look at Chris Paul. He leaves when it's a mess. He comes back, it's a mess again. I mean, it's always good to come home.
Nothing significant will happen to them. It's going to happen to somebody. Somebody's taking the L for this one.
I mean, yeah, nothing's going to happen to Ballmer or Kawhi, but somebody's got to take the fall.
No, it's good. Corruption always wins in the United States. Yes. Hence, look at our country right now. The resistance coming soon on the One Podcast Network. No, so someone's got to take the hit. I think the NBA has to make an example of this. And I know Adam Silver said The worst thing you can do is this, right? Hitting a woman, drunk driving, circumvention. Those are the 3 sins for Adam Silver. So if it's found that they knew what was happening, and the agreement was, hey, here's your contract, Kawhi. Don't worry about doing anything on the contract. We got you. Someone was getting hit, and unfortunately, the worst that happened in Baltimore is what like a George Steinbrenner suspension, like a year and a half.
Oh no, I don't think they're going to send a message to him that way. I think they're just going to they got to give him a hefty fine, probably a fine, an obscene amount of money that we've never seen before in a fine, and he'll probably lose a couple draft picks. But
let me look at my circumvention paperwork. What was the penalty? A fine of up to $4.5 million, $7.5 million.
Yeah, I can see that.
So $7.5 million lost of draft picks.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, what's $7.5 million to the richest owner in the NBA?
He should refer all his questions to his lawyer or someone else besides himself.
He was trying to get to that. He was trying to get to that.
He was. I love my dad. Post what I said about Kawhi is funny. It's. I feel like at this point, there's really no win for the Clippers and for Kawhi.
Yeah.
At this point, it's just a no comment investigation going to happen, because the more they talk, it's kind of like it's getting worse and worse, and public opinion's kind of like, I knew what was happening. And then Uncle Dennis is kind of shady too. We don't like Uncle Dennis either. Like this company that, when you go back and look at the company, it was kind of fugazi, and then how they made the money, and they was getting money, and they get money from Ballmer, and then the 1% owner of the Clippers. Like all these pieces keep happening,
right?
And you go, nothing to see here, nothing to see here. At some point, people will be like, "No, you're lying now. I don't believe you." I think that's where we are.
Exactly. I agree. Exactly.
So it's gonna be interesting to see where this goes and how long this investigation takes, because I don't think this is gonna be a short one. I think it's gotta go a while. It's gotta go a while. In other news, Jonathan Kuminga, the summer-long standoff is over. He's re-signed with Golden State. And once they said what the contract was, I'm like, oh, that dude getting traded, because it is a 2-year, $46.8 million contract, which is very, very friendly for teams. And it's literally a player option. I think it's a player option. I'm looking. Sorry, team option. Oh wait, I'm looking. Oh no, it's an option. There's an option here. It's a straight 2-year contract, but it's for $23.4 million a year, which, in the grand scheme of things, is not a lot of money in the NBA.
No, he's definitely a bargaining chip, considering they got Horford, which I was surprised he signed for a multi-year deal himself. And
he's 55 years old. So Horford playing for 2 more years at 68. It'll be very interesting to see that. When Kuminga signed, he stayed away from the team. They had like a mini camp. Jimmy Butler brought them all together. Obviously, Kuminga didn't show up because he wasn't signed. So he showed up. And the question was, first question, do you want to be with the Warriors long term? His response, I'm here now. Oh, damn.
I mean, it's better than ask my lawyer.
No. It's funny how I don't think Golden State wants him, but I feel like we're going to get to January, February when, you could trade him, and they're going to need someone. And Kuminga's that trip, $23 million. This guy's cheap.
Yep.
We'll eat half. Okay, wait, Bruce. Kuminga's agent is an idiot. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. Apparently, he was looking for a sign and trade all summer. Couldn't find one. Couldn't find one. So this is where we are. What are the odds of Kuminga staying in Golden State through the season?
50-50 at best.
Damn. You're not giving. I was thinking like 70-30. Like,
nah. Well, we got to see.
Well, my question to you, though, does he fit with Jimmy Butler? Can you play both of them at the same time? Because it's kind of very similar play style.
Yeah, that's where it's gonna be a logjam, and I don't know how that'll work.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to put them on the floor at the same time. Because I don't think that's not possible right now. So
Right.
it's just a log jam on the floor of two guys playing the same exact position, the same exact way.
Same exact way. Yep.
He's still young. What is there a good fit for him? Is there a team that he just has to go start and just ball out, i.e.,
Washington?
I was gonna say Washington. Oh man, you took that out of my mouth. Oh, I was gonna say the Wizards. Oh man.
Or
I was
Charlotte?
like, I was like, i.e. Jordan Poole, Washington.
or Charlotte, yeah. I was thinking Washington the whole time.
I love his positivity. Kuminga will win in the end. He's on the wrong team. However, he's only 22. He's gonna be all right. I'm like, I guess.
Your dad nailed it. He's absolutely right.
I guess. Yeah, maybe a Washington, a Charlotte, a team where like, hey, we're not gonna win, but you ball out and go get the value up.
He might even go down the block for me. He might go to Barclays. Go ball out for the Nets.
Well, there's a net story that I want to talk to you about real quick because ESPN did a really cool story where they did teams that gained or lost the most roster value this offseason. And the Nets are on it. Hold on, I gotta find where they are.
They've got to be a top two.
Milwaukee. Oh, they're not on that list. They lost a lot of value because they lost, everybody. They lost the WAR is a net 3. So they added 10 games with WAR. They lost 7, so 3, so it's not too bad. But they didn't mention Brooklyn, how it's gonna be a long season for them, and how everybody's kind of forgetting that they exist. And everybody's like, I don't know what we said last week. How it's like, what is this? And I'm gonna get your thought as a native son of Brooklyn. What is happening in Brooklyn right now with the Nets?
It's looking very JV over there, and it's so funny because like I have a coworker. She's from Cleveland, diehard Cavs fan. She was like, it's impossible to get tickets for the Knicks Cavs home opener that Wednesday, where I think the cheapest ticket was like $800. That's a Wednesday. Friday they play the Nets at Barclays.
Mm-hmm.
Guess how much mid-row below press box tickets are going for right now?
In Barclays,
that section, right?
Yeah,
50, 55.
55, really?
It's their home opener.
Oh, yeah, okay. Okay. It'll be 35 the next game. The second home game be $35. Damn. Well, it's funny because you look at who they added, and they added WAR, which I still think is the worst damn analytic stat known to man. Michael Porter Jr., Haywood Highsmith, Terrence Mann, who I'm like is going to shoot.
Oh my goodness!
20 shots a game.
Green light.
Igor from BYU. The top losses: Cam Johnson, D'Angelo Russell. So I'm like, so you lost those two guys who you really didn't want. Let's be honest. You didn't want D'Angelo Russell.
And
Cam Johnson.
Cam for a year.
Yeah. And then the 4 people you add are like, God, this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be a bad team. Like, does Jordy keep his job after the season?
It's not his fault.
Not him. What team do you think gained the most value this offseason? Based on
it's gotta be Dallas. It's gotta be Dallas, no?
Dallas is 3.
Oh, okay, that's close. I hope it's not the Lakers because as much as people are starting to glow and LeBron's starting to talk a little bit, I don't think that's a championship. I don't think they're top 3, and it's got to be Houston. Houston's number 1. It's got to be Houston.
Houston's 2.
Wow, shit. So who's number 1? Not OKC by nutrition.
Mm-mm. The Clippers.
Not the Lakers.
The Clippers, who we just talked about.
Good luck with that.
Top additions: Chris Paul, Brook Lopez, Bradley Beal, and John Collins. They lost Norman Powell. Ben Simmons, and Amir Coffey. But I mean, they added a really good bench.
They did add a good bench.
Like Chris Paul, Brook Lopez, Bradley Beal. Does Beal start? Do you think he starts?
No.
Okay. So it would be, you have your 2 guards, you have your 4, and you have your 5. You just got to find a 3 that can go in there, and you got your bench. You signed a great second unit that has a lot of war, which I still don't know what the fuck that means, but that's not the point. For those caring, the Yankees hopefully lose. By the way, I thought about it just now because I'm like, Yankees are on tonight now. I can't wait for them to lose. I'm looking at the Clippers thing real quick, so I'm curious to see if Beal would start. Yeah, he's set to start.
Really?
The expected depth chart: James Harden, Bradley Beal, Kawhi, John Collins is set to start too.
I would start Collins
and Zubac.
I would start.
That's your 5.
Ooh, that's a good 5.
See, but I feel like Collins off the bench. You would start because I feel like Nick Batum. You can start Batum and just sit him down. I feel like Batum coming in for Collins, and Batum jacks up a lot of shots, a lot of threes, especially.
Yeah,
very streaky. I don't want that on the floor, in that first quarter going to second quarter.
But do you want Collins on the floor with Lopez?
I don't want Collins on the floor with Zubac. I feel like they'd be clogging up the lane.
Yeah.
So I feel like that either one of those things. Although Lopez steps out, so it makes more sense because Collins inside, Brook steps outside because Brook hasn't gone inside since he played with the Nets. Let's be honest.
That's a fact. Yeah, that's a fact.
So I just feel like it's one of those things where this is the expected lineup. Obviously, it can change. Obviously, people get signed, but Bradley Beal starting makes sense because you look at the shooting guards; they don't have a ton. They have Bogdan, but Bogdan right now is out. He'll probably be ready for opening night. And you still got Russell Westbrook out there, so you never know. Maybe they want to bring him in and try that out.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. So real quick before we go, I don't know if you saw today, Hangman Adam Page from AEW. Apparently during Dynamite last night, they played a couple of ice commercials recruiting for, and he said, let's write to HBO and Warner Brothers and tell them stop showing ice commercials during Dynamite. Wow. And that right there.
I didn't even know there was ice commercial.
There are. What have you seen the Christy Nome commercials with her pushing Homeland Security? It's if you're here illegally, leave. That's pretty much the whole commercial. But Hangman Page officially became my favorite wrestler of all time based on what he did today. It was awesome.
You know what kills me about ICE officers? It's like you could spot them a mile away. It's like The Wire with Omar. When you see him coming, you know you gotta run.
You hear that whistle. You hear that whistle like, oh shit.
I gotta go. I gotta go.
Oh shit, that's Omar.
They kill me with that. They be in line I saw a couple of them the other day in Times Square in line at Chick-fil-A. I'm like, they give no shits. They no shits. Everybody's scared for their life, but they give no shits. They're gonna order their frosted lemonade
at Chick-fil-A. I love that. Which is on brand in hindsight.
Which is on brand. It's on brand in hindsight.
The other news that came out of AEW, Andrade returns to AEW. I'm like, what?
Huh? He becomes the first guy that leaves WWE to go AEW, leaves AEW, go to WWE, and then goes back to. I love it. I love it.
I'm like, what? Huh? Wait, I didn't watch the show. I had Bruce's show last night, and then I got bogged down with stuff. So I watched it this morning, the highlights, and I'm like, wait a second. And I saw the mask on. He started taking the mask off. I'm like, ain't no way in hell they brought him back. And he took it off. I'm like, why did you bring him back after he damn near knocked Sammy Guevara out and just shit all over Tony Khan? And Tony's like, all right, fuck it. Let's run it back. Let's run it back.
Because he went over there to be with his wife, who he's not married to anymore. And Triple H is a racist.
I'm glad you said it.
I was thinking about MVP. So I was thinking about MVP.
I want to know what MVP has on Triple H because he teases it, but I don't. There's more to the story. And he's not saying it.
I mean, unlike a lot of people, he was a wrestler with Triple H back in the day, so he probably knows where some bones are buried.
I'm very curious about the whole MVP thing. But what were your thoughts on the announcement about John Cena, AJ Styles, and as we get closer to the end of the Cena era?
I thought it was all right. I thought they've been botching this whole farewell tour the whole way. I was surprised because Miz is not big enough anymore. I'm surprised he's not fighting the Miz. I love how Edge and him are going tit for tat, honoring each other, but that's not happening. You know who I want to see him wrestle in his last match?
Who?
Dominic.
Someone said, Solomonster said, Dominic, or if he really wants to do good for the business, put him in there with Obafemi and let Femi just fuck him up and just put him out.
If that was TNA. I'm not TNA. If that was TNA, if that was AEW, if that was ECW, probably. But we're talking about Triple H, WWE. They ain't doing that. It's either gonna be Dom to throw back to him and Eddie, or just remember. I don't think he's ever won the Intercontinental title, so he's never gone for the. I mean, this is a story in itself. He could go for the Grand Slam. He never got that.
Yeah, but what? He doesn't need titles anymore. I think for these last couple of months, it should be like, I want to wrestle him. The Lesnar, I don't know if they're even going to run that back because the report is that they're not running back Lesnar and Cena.
They should.
The match just made no sense and there's no payoff. It's just like Lesnar just beat him up, essentially. But I feel like besides the last...
So that way, Cena going to be in War Games? Probably.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying a Cena team versus a Brock team.
Nah, not Brock. He'll probably be on whatever team Roman and all those guys are on.
Yeah, I don't. The honeymoon's over. I'm sorry. Like I have been a fan. Like I think when Triple H started, it was making a lot of sense and it was cool. It was like it was new blood. It was kind of new stories and felt like there's new energy. And I feel like it's done now. I feel like you've hit a wall where SmackDown is unwatchable. I don't watch Raw because I just don't have the bandwidth to have to go to Netflix, turn it on. I don't have the bandwidth for that, so I miss a lot.
I think that's also the problem too. They're so spread so thin. And NXT's on Peacock or CW. Mm-hmm. It's too much clicking around.
But even NXT, and I try to give them a shot. I'm like, a lot of this shit seems repetitive. And I'm saying
they're doing the whole invasion next week with TNA.
Yeah, Showdown, not Invasion. They changed the name.
Sorry.
Showdown.
Yeah, change name. Yep.
But even this seems rushed. This seems like you could have spread this out for months. This feels like the invasion of 01. Everything just got rushed and just killed and done is over. It feels like this. You spread this out and go WrestleMania weekend. We're gonna blow it out and we're gonna have the end to this shit and just slow. Not have anybody win titles right away. Have people win titles in January to lead up to Mania weekend and where you have these blow-offs and get the belts back. And everything just seems rushed with this invasion angle. It just feels like we're watching WCW, WWE all over again. Yep. So it's very, very sad. Jason, as always, great show, bro.
Likewise.
So, as always, Box Out every Thursday, 8 p.m. Armchairing every Wednesday, also here on the One Podcast Network. The Resistance is starting this month. I'm getting my intro together. So
nice.
We're starting this month. It's going to happen, especially now. We need it more than ever. Follow us on X. I'm at Kahlil and Thomas. Busy J for Jason. Doing big things here. We're going to keep this going. But in the meantime, for Jason, I'm Kahlil. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next Thursday night here on One Podcast Network. Peace.
This has been The Box Out with Kahlil Thomas and Jason Kortner. Subscribe now for the best tri-state area basketball talk.